Welcome to A Fan's Perspective, episode 24. My boy JD in here, my boy Bogey. How y'all boys feeling, man?
Everything good, big bro. How you doing tonight, man?
All right, man. You know what I mean? It's cool, man. It's this nice weather rolling in, So I'm happy about that.
That's dope.
You get to enjoy it. Yeah. All right, so we gonna get right into it, man. Fat Joe and Jadakiss had a new podcast. Their first episode, I think it's like yesterday or the day before, and some things was said. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip, and y'all tell me what y'all think about it, man. Okay.
Where do what? I guess this podcast shit is the new rapper shit, right? I'm at a Jewish funeral yesterday. One of my best friends is Jewish. His grandmother died. She's 93, and I'm talking to a Jewish lady right next to her in the funeral thing, and she's like, "Hey Joe, man, you got to tune into my podcast." And she's like 80 years old. I'm looking at her. I say, you know what? I can learn a lot from you. I might just tune into your podcast, but this shit is just everybody. What's gonna make the difference with the Joe and Jada podcast?
Authentic.
Don't clown that. Don't clown the elderly lady. She's trying to get her coins.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? It got to be an organic conversation, correct? We can't ride the wave of what's going on out here. You know what I mean? This ain't that, and that ain't this.
That ain't this.
It's cracking kiss.
Oh, see, my thing is when you talk about that's one right there. You know, when you talk about hip hop podcasts, see, I can't salute you if you didn't go and did a show and the promoter beat you for your second half of your money, or you went to a show, the promoter don't want to pay you.
If you haven't been through the farm league,
listen,
of what it takes.
Listen, you can't be sitting up here dissecting the albums, and that's the fucking problem we had with rap since the beginning.
Why can't we? Well, we're gonna get into it.
Source mics and all this shit. It's like, yo, you ain't even played the game. You see, the reason why we love TNT so much with Chuck and Shaq, these are legends. They played the game. They know the ins and outs. When it comes to Jada and Joe, like, we've been fucked over. We done won. We done had moments. We done had anthems. We know the game. We done got beat by the promoters. Over. You ain't really been real unless they sick pit bulls on you when you try to get your second half of money, or you got to beat up a promoter and take the money.
But the whole podcast is about sports, though.
About who?
Football. Whole episode is about sports. You ain't throw a football, basketball yet, but let's go.
Money in quarters. You know what I'm saying? Or you get kidnapped in Africa. We need our money, right? We need our money. So I'm going to take
my money and I need it now.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get my so when I see these certain guys commenting, never had a hit record, never had an album, I'm like, to me, they're not qualified.
Those guys are called the fans, but go ahead.
You know,
when they put these mics in front of people, they lose. Some people just get caught in the moment and say dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it happens to the best of us. But
I'm saying,
in due time, it'll all come to the light.
Yeah, they just said the best duo.
All right, enough of that BS. But what's your thoughts, man?
You know what, brother? I will have you know that I happen to do a podcast with the fella here, all about fantasy football. And so we're definitely talking about football, and we're definitely talking about sports. And listen, we may not be on the field, but we definitely in the game. So fuck what they saying. You know what I mean? Fuck what Fat Joe's saying, because you can flip the script. I am an artist, and I'll talk about hip hop shit, but I'm not gonna go knocking anybody that doesn't have anything to do with hip hop. It's like, listen, bro, People love music. You know what I mean? It could just be a music a podcast. And I'm not gonna be like, listen, you cannot do a music you do the country music. Let me see your country music album playlist. Where's your credits? You know what I mean? Like I think it's a failed attempt to get some buzz for his first episode, because I'm pretty sure he felt that people are gonna jump on and react to this because they're new in this lane. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I like. My thing is like this though, man. Like those people you talking about that like to dissect the albums, those are called fans. Those are called supporters. The people that pay for your shows, the people that pay for your records, whether it be streaming or they buying physical copies or digital copies or merch. You know what I mean? Cool. Without those guys, right? At the end of the day, you wouldn't have a rap career. There wouldn't be no reason for no record label to give you no loan. You know what I mean? Because that's who makes it all make sense is the fans. So if we want to comment on the things that we spend our hard-earned money on, that's our prerogative. Sometimes we don't want to hear what you got to say about your album. We want to hear it from another fan, see if we got the similar experience. And if we did,
the source.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know, sometimes fans want to. I want to hear certain things from another person that may have had the same experience with me or a different experience or whatever the case may be. So I don't always want to hear it from a celebrity. You know what I mean? The majority of that podcast is about sports. Ain't none of them never throw no football or basketball.
And a celebrity gonna be biased for his homie too. Post my album. I said a celebrity gonna be biased for his homie. Hey, post my album, it's fire. Oh, my homie posted my album. You know what I mean? Shit like that. You know what I mean? They do be biased about they shit. You know what I mean? So you know, you definitely want to hear somebody else's opinion about it from you know that's around what you doing. 100% no. And then like you know, my thing is like Joe, just that statement, like right. But what if I lived or I did what you rap about? I'm just not a rapper. What if I'm out here really doing what is you're talking about in your life? You know what I mean? I'm not.
Joey Crack. When's the last time you were in the kitchen?
That just says to what Bogey talking about a little bit trying to get shit out the window to get it booming a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, big dog. And then, you know, me and Slim, when we was talking, you know, you got motherfuckers that talk against, you know, Fat Joe and what he's done in his circle. But you're always going to have that, you know what I mean? But still, though, you know, you got certain shit. So you just can't come into this space and attacking motherfuckers in this space, bro. That's not a good look. It really ain't. So I'm definitely thinking that it's a publicity stunt, 100%. And one more point, like, bruh, during the Kendrick and Drake beef, the motherfucking content creators is the one that kept this shit lit, bro. So like, man, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? 100%.
Exactly. And then one thing I agree with Jada is that, okay, in this space, you know, it's about organic conversations. That's cool. I totally agree with that, you know. But at the end of the day, y'all stepping in this space. Y'all new to over here. You know, people come to YouTube for different things, how-to videos, educational purposes, to learn about finance, real estate. You know, entertainment is just one of those slots. You know what I mean? Not everybody comes on here to follow sports and entertainment. And rap and you know and hip hop. Not everybody comes on here to follow that on YouTube. So my thing is, look, my thing is
that are live lyricists.
Look, my thing is this, right? At the end of the day, you know, in this space, once you're done with all the old industry stories and the celebrity guests and all of that, what else are you gonna talk about? It's a reason why, you know, Joe is where he's at, you know, because it is a reason why Academics is where he's at. You know, I'm on the side of the content creators. I'm on the side of the fans and supporters because I represent them. You feel me?
What I got a problem with?
What's up?
Say the names, Fat Joe. Who is it?
I mean,
you talking about who? Say the names.
No, it's a blanket statement.
Exactly.
If you don't narrow it down, it's a blanket statement. Y'all new in this lane. You know what I mean? And not every celebrity that does a podcast, it continues to do good.
100%.
There's people that came in this lane and then came and went. And at the end of the day, y'all rap money slowed up over there, or whatever. The money ain't as the same as it was in the 90s because they taking all y'all money with the streaming and all that. So now y'all come on this lane and trying to make some money.
So
You heard what he said at the beginning, though, big dog.
Be respectful for the people that been in this lane, been putting in work.
But look, you heard what the nigga said. Oh, excuse my language. You heard what Bruh said. Bruh said, "Oh, this is the new rap game." You know what I mean? Like, bro, oh, okay, so that's your motive now.
Yeah.
You come and get a part of this. This is
So
where
he's hating on the new rappers then.
Come on now, stop, bro. 100%. You trying to use what you done did already to try and elevate your shit, but also you trying to throw some clickbait out there to try and get motherfuckers to bite in 100%. Like, man, if you're really talking about somebody in the shit, you should have let it be known. But also the cold thing is, remember, I forgot who it was that was attacking Cameron, because when he first started his stuff, remember, may his mom rest in peace and condolences to Cam's family, Cam and his family. But remember, he shut it down for a minute because of his mom passing away, and somebody in the main industry, I forgot who it was attacking him because, like, oh, you think rappers can come in here and it don't blow up and you don't want to put it in, but yet he had to take a step back. But look at him now, but it's the grind though too though, and it like the organic.
I'm glad you brought up Cam, because if I've never watched this Fat Joe Jadakiss first episode fully yet. I just saw the clip that you sent, right? But if they're talking about like sports and shit, this is not original. Two notable rappers. What would we call them? Elder statesman rappers doing a sports joint. Sounds like Cam and Mace. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just another version of it. So it's like when you open
that.
up with like authenticity and shit. And I do fuck with Kiss. Kiss is super dope, so I know what he means. But like, we're definitely gonna see them do different iterations until they come into their own. You know what I mean? And they go, okay, this is how we fit in the podcast space.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And the thing is that how Kiss said, people get on here, and they just sometimes they get in front of the mic and talk straight bullshit. That's true too. That happens. You know what I mean? But you have to stand out in this space. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand out. You have to really gravitate to, you have to really make the people gravitate to you. But like I said, I'm on the side of the content creators and the people that got to work 10 times harder to put these numbers up on the board. We don't have the luxury of celebrity to throw around, to boost our numbers up. We really got to be creative. We really got to have good conversations. We really got to come with our A game. You know what I'm saying? And we do everything. We don't get to hire. We don't come in this game hiring engineers and all. We are the engineer, the
independent
designer, the everything for this shit. Until you get it to a point where you can delegate other tasks, you got to do everything yourself. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna come in this space, man, and be disrespecting people that been in here putting in work, bro. You feel me? Like I ain't with that. Just because your rap career ain't working for you no more.
You feel me?
Come on now. And then the whole thing is like being in the podcast shit, bro. You got to be dedicated to this shit. Is you gonna be in that gym shooting them jumpers 100%. That means you're gonna be out there putting them episodes out now, even though you ain't got to buzz down like how we buzz down, but that time and that effort out your day to go into this studio wherever y'all filming at and buzz down for 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, show prep, the whole shit, get that shit to where, it's really professional, because this just ain't no fire it up and 100%. When you really trying to talk about something, you need to be kind of versed in what you're talking about 100%. Even though they can talk about they industry.
Who's to say a fan can't be versed in it, right?
Exactly.
And then if they are not talking about what they come from, and Big Bro said it was a sports podcast, then that statement that Brad made is like you really can't even make that statement, bro. 100%.
Exactly. And like I said, you on episode 1. Let's see how let's see where you at when you put some after you put some years in here. You feel me? See, my thing is, you see, and just to go a little deeper, y'all been in the rap game, y'all been in the rap game for years. You feel me? And at the end of the day, they came and took a lot of these rappers' money with the streaming stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not caught up on a new wave, as far as like doing streaming as a new rapper, you gotta kind of add streaming to your promotion and your
I mean,
market.
just like vlogging did it for like guys like Mac Miller early on, right? Like, streaming and going live for the the 2015 generation all the way to 2020. That was the thing. Like, just going on live on social media. Now it's just like motherfuckers are streaming for real.
Yeah,
Grizzly.
And that's the thing, like fans
Grizzly playing games and shit. He getting big money playing games.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, fans want to hear from other fans. You come in this space, man, be humble, man, make your money, man. Ain't nobody in the gatekeeping over here, whatever the case may be. You come in here, you go do what you do, but don't come in here shitting on people. You know what I'm saying? In the lane that you just getting your feet wet. You still wet behind the ears in this lane, man.
It's kind of crazy too how he leads off with like, I was at a Jewish funeral. My best friend is Jewish, by the way. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, even when he first started out, like, look, we've been fucked over. It's like, I mean,
I've heard other.
How about I say we prevailed? You open up, we've been fucked over. It sounds a little insecure and upset still, like a little.
At the end of the day, man, you had a whole record label, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had Big Pun.
You had your advances. You had your artists. You had the whole
your dances.
Don't tell me about your rich struggles, bro. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the majority of people that watch YouTube, we can't relate to celebrity shit. You know what I'm saying? We just watch it from afar, but we can't relate to that shit, man. We relate to everyday life shit. You know what I mean?
You remember celebrities that we grew up with? They weren't even accessible. There was an allure to being a celebrity that you couldn't get near them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now, they want to show us it all, which is cool when you're a fan, you know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, especially if you're trying to sell a product, and I can see why a lot of the old school guys, like in this case, Fat Joe and them, they're coming into this space. There's probably a lot of people from their generation that never wanted to see this thing out like a Joe Buttons did or a Cam did, you know what I mean? Because they're too like, why are we giving this shit away for free? You know what I mean?
My point, bro, right there. Not even just giving away from free, but yet just staying dedicated to the grind. Because Joe
exactly
come in just off the top, just banking, living his lifestyle off just on the internet like that. You feel me? Joe had to work his way up to the top. And you see, if you go back to the first iteration of that shit, where it's Rory and I forgot who else was, but they in a small little ass shit. You know what I mean? It's just as like, you know what I mean? It's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? So Jada and Joe is walking into like feeling like if they do like Cam and Mace, you put up 500, I put up 500, not knowing that we're gonna get a $30 million deal in 2 years. Yeah. But yet that's what they thinking the formula is. But no, Mace is like cousins, bro. It's like Gilly and Wallow. It's organic, bro. 100. It's like me and Cuzzo Kev, bro. We get on this motherfucking man and we talk, man. Bro, it's the, you know what I mean? It's bloodline type shit.
What brought together EFN and
Nori?
As an original Drink Champs, it was just Nori.
EFN was part of the promotion teams of Def Jam down in Miami.
Oh, okay. And then he's definitely been in Miami since, remember, since the Gangsters Don't Die, they retired in Miami or whatever.
I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes down to like black content creators who really made this space what it is now, like who helped make this space what it is now, where all these big deals are getting done, we got to give it up to people like Combat Jack. The people that made this, what it was, is people that wasn't necessarily rappers. I mean, you had you had Nori, but you had Combat Jack, you had Doggy Diamonds. You know what I'm saying? You had what you call it? You had Charlemagne. I got to give it to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Andrew Schultz was in this space. Tag Stone. You know what I'm saying? Free him. You know what I mean? He was in this space.
Didn't Angie have a podcast? Didn't she have one early too? Angie Martinez.
I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Okay,
but
my bad to cut you off.
At the end of the day, she said, these guys helped set the foundation for black podcasting. You know what I mean? And they wasn't rappers. You know what I mean? So Don't and when you go on
Angela Yee, there's one. Lip
Angela,
service.
yeah, she has her stuff now, but I'm talking about back
I'm
then.
talking about lip service before.
Yeah, no, I wasn't listening, and I didn't.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like she would bring on all the rappers, and they would talk about all the freak shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember that, but I'm talking about the people that was at the beginning of this space when it came to black podcasting, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I say podcasting, I mean audio only. You feel me? No YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Those guys I just named, they was at the beginning of this stuff right here. You feel me? And they wasn't rappers. You see what I'm saying? So, people, black podcasting has came a long way then. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a few originators and it wasn't rappers. So you really
Joe Budden was definitely the one that put in the super hard work. And then once he started getting like the deals and everything, there was like, oh shit, look at Joe Budden.
Like this, the industry that I'm trying to crack
real quick, right? Exception for Joe Buttons and Nori. Those are the only two. And the thing is, they had to put in work in this space.
Yeah.
Even though they were rappers, they had to put in work in this.
10 years deep. They're 10 years plus now.
All right. My point exactly. They stood the test of time. So go ahead.
No, the industry I'm trying to crack on this shit, man. I've been at it for 6 years, bro. Still trying to get into it. 100%, my dog. If you go look and go type in anything fantasy football, it ain't gonna be nothing like me. 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm with both.
That's why people rock with me and JD for real, though.
I'm trying to tell you, you know what I mean? It's
like, oh, they know some shit.
And then, you can go and look at my comments, they be like, OG, woo, whoop, or, the Ebonics. I don't know if y'all know what Ebonics is, but that's a 1990 saying, you know what I mean? If you know what I'm talking about, it is what it is. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's hard to crack that type of thing. But look, bro, it's always batter up, bro. We not stepping down, bro. We stepping up every time, 100%. So that's gonna be my thing with Joe and Jada. Is y'all gonna put the work in that needs to be put in? Because y'all got that, you got everything accessible to you. You don't have to put in all the work. All you got to do is show up and talk about what y'all gonna talk about. But are you gonna take the time out your day to go ahead and stay scheduling it to where it's consistent, bro? 100%.
And the thing is, JD, what I was trying to say too, the best content I listen to does not even come from celebrities. I don't listen to them celebrity podcasts like that. I might listen to a clip or two or something like that, but I listen to pure content creators. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the best content comes from the people that are not celebrities, that really had to put in work to garner a crowd or garner some attention in this space. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people I listen to. People that had to start from zero everything across the board and had to work their way up. And didn't have no cheat code. You know what I'm saying?
If you go look at our early content, it's all off iPhones. 2 iPhones, 3 iPhones for different camera angles. Oh my mama, it's facts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And say for me, for instance, like when I first started out, with one of my homeboys, homegirls or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I started out there, and that situation, it didn't really work. What Eight at the Table is right now, the relationship podcast. That's what Shorty was doing back then. You feel what I'm saying? That didn't work out. Then I started it on my own. That didn't work out. And I said, I'm gonna study this game before I get in it, so I could know how to stay in it and stay 10 toes down and shit. You feel what I'm saying? But this is not something I've been doing this consistently for a year right now, as far as this, but as far as being in this space, I've been in and out of this space. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, like I respect the people that have to grind their way from the bottom. And I don't feel like you should come in here trying to, step on the people that really had to put that work in to be something in the space, bro. Like, that's just what it is, man. All right.
No, them facts, big bro. You know what I mean?
Because look, right, with Jadakiss, remember when people was trying to put his gangster on trial last week? Oh man, he went to private school, this, that, and the third. Who spoke in defense of Jada? The content creators. I ain't hear no rappers speaking about that. Your fellow label mates, and not the lots, but I'm just saying, just in general, it's the content creators that spoke up for Jada, whether he asked it to or not. You know what I'm saying? Because we mess with him as an artist, and we like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, he already home, man. What you trying to put him on trial now for? For something so trivial. And I know exactly where it came from. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother story, man. My thing is like when you come in this space, man, do your work. Nobody telling you can't come in here and do your shit. But just have some respect for the people that have been in this shit. You don't have to speak out. If you don't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all, man. You know what I mean? Don't come in here trying to step on us. You feel me?
Come on now.
People who dissect the albums is the people that buy your albums at the end of the day. It's people that go to the shows, the people that stream your music, that keep you paid so you can get residuals to pay your bills. Without the fans, y'all don't exist. Without the supporters, y'all don't exist. Be serious, man. So, it is what it is, man. But on to the next topic, man. Tory Lanez, man. I heard he got a little something today. Let me pull up that right quick, man.
10 years in prison for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. In December of 2022, rapper Tory Lanez was convicted of 3 felonies in the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. The incident left Megan wounded with bullet fragments in her feet. About 8 months after the verdict, Lanez, born Daystar Peterson, was back in court for sentencing. Megan testified during the trial, but for this, she didn't return. She did write a victim impact statement, quote, "Since I was viciously shot by the defendant, I have not experienced a single day of peace. Slowly but surely, I'm healing and coming back, but I will never be the same." A number of people spoke and wrote on Lanez's behalf, including his father and artist Iggy Azalea. She wrote to the judge asking for a sentence that was, quote, "transformative, not life-destroying." On Twitter, Azalea clarified that she didn't intend to, quote, "support anyone," nor did she realize.
All right. Well, they get this is just the precursor, like, of why Tory Lanez was locked up. But rapper Tory Lanez, who's behind bars for shooting fellow hip hop star Megan Thee Stallion, has been hospitalized after being attacked in prison. Lanez, 32, was attacked by another inmate around 7:20 a.m. May 12th. A spokesperson for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation confirmed USA Today. Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, is serving a 10-year sentence at the California Correctional Institution in Tallahatchie, after he was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. Staff immediately responded, activated 911, and began medical aid. Peterson was subsequently transported to an outside medical facility for further treatment. It is currently unclear what motivated the attack. Yeah, so then they said he was stabbed 14 times, suffered from a collapsed lung. So yeah, man. So what you do? Oh, yeah, you see Bogey.
What's that?
Yeah.
I saw the clip.
Yeah.
I was backstage watching it.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, my computer just like absolutely like geeked on me.
Nah, I feel you. So what y'all think about that, man?
He in there
Very
putting in
sad,
work.
man.
He in there putting in work. He's a threat. They said he damn, I wish I would remember what podcast he was on, but he in there said he running them fades back to back to back. So he in there not programming with nobody. He up under just a black card. You feel me? He not under no gang card, no nothing like that. So he really not programming with nobody like that.
But he had a blue flag on his shoulder when he was on the phone.
Well, he might be cripping. I don't know. But from what I heard, that he in there, he not really programming like that. You know what I mean? I heard he really just been doing just solo like type shit. From what I heard. But like I said, the people that I talked,
he got some inside information over there.
My people just got there not too long ago. 100% facts. You know what I mean? But the thing is though, like, right? If he in there running and he looking like he really cut up in that motherfucker, like he been programming, working out, not programming with the program 100%, but he in there programming, getting his shit right. You know what I mean? So if he in there running shit back to back to back and he whooping on shit, you know what I mean? Whether it was a race war, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? We don't know what happened. Yeah. Or it was that, you know what I mean? He was a threat to somebody, man. Okay, well, we gonna poke him up because we can't see him with these.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, and then you got to survive, man. I seen people on Twitter laughing about it and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, this is real corny because at the end of the day,
Or Warriors.
at the end of the day, you know, the way I see it is, I don't think he shot that girl, and I don't care who feel like what. I don't think he shot Megan Thee Stallion. You know, the evidence didn't make any sense. You know, the gunpowder was found on her homegirl. You know, I think what really happened is that
he didn't want to rap.
No, I think what happened is, you know, and this is just from what I see. You know what I mean? I feel like Megan and her homegirl got into an altercation. Megan probably got the best of her. Shorty probably went for the ratchet. He probably tried to fight, you know, try to wrestle it out of her hand. They all fighting over the gun. The shit went off. That's why the bullets hit the floor. At the end of the day, the security guard was supposed to show up and speak on Tory Lanez behalf, but he played disappearing act and then reappeared when after Tory got convicted. You know what I mean? Tory rolled on homegirl, so that's why the bodyguard was supposed to come in there to speak on his behalf.
And Tory was fucking on the bride first. He wasn't fucking on Megan first. He was fucking on the other bride first, 100%. So he got some type of loyalty toward this bride, 100%. You can say what you want to say, whether you was a couple of nights or whatnot, but somehow, some way, they had some type of multiple relationships. So when he slid up in Megan, that's what clicked off everything at the Kardashian house. Everything that you just said leading up to that, bro, that's exactly what happened. The bride got mad. They got jealous. And Megan, Jesus,
what's crazy, bro?
My thing is down to the facts. Like, you know, when it came to the case itself, the shorty she wanted immunity. She asked for immunity. You don't ask for immunity if you feel like you're not, you know, you're guilty or something. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the bodyguard was supposed to speak up on his behalf. The bodyguard never showed up. Tory got convicted, but I don't feel like he did that. You know what I'm saying?
But Megan and Kelsey, they fell out because I watched the documentary. We broke that shit down on the weekend wrap up. We broke it down on the OJ. I forgot what show we broke it down on. But I watched the whole documentary, and it started off Kelsey and Megan. You know, they've been good since high school. And when Meg's mom died, you know what I mean, may she rest in peace, and condolences to Megan and her family, 100%. But they've been homegirls for a long time, you know what I mean. So if Kelsey and Tory is doing their thing, but Meg is up here, Meg is feeling like what's going on. So if she go behind her homegirl back and go start messing with the dude that she fucking with, like that's like some.
I heard Shorty been doing that too. So it came to Megan. I heard Shorty been doing that. So I think it came to a head. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about this, right? Like Megan
Shorty
is
been trying to land one with some money.
Nah, but listen, what I'm saying. Megan is famous, right? Kelsey's not famous, but Kelsey aesthetically looks better than Megan. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So now the dudes that Megan is into,
Megan's a giant, huh?
I mean, I ain't gonna say all that, but the dude.
No, I'm just saying, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'7". You know what I mean? So
yeah, she's
like Tory's probably half her size.
Yeah, but look, let me land real quick, right? Like the people that Megan is probably into, they probably trying to get at homegirl first. You know what I'm saying? So Megan probably looking at in her mind, like, you know, that shit probably messing with her. Like, damn, I'm the one famous. I'm the one with the name. You know what I'm saying? How my homegirl is getting these dudes. They hollering at her like she the chick, but I'm really the chick. You know what I mean? So it'll lead to her. You know, that would lead some people that would lead to them saying, "Oh well, I'm gonna just go try to deal with them behind her back." And you know what I mean? You know, feeling like she's
not a gangster.
She feeling like
a gangster and you're trying to shoot. A lot of times that's passion. That's something that's personal.
Oh, let me land real quick though. Like she looking at it like that's supposed to be for me. That looks supposed to be for me. I'm the one with the name. I'm the one with the money. You know what I'm saying? So but you're supposed to be happy for your homegirl. You know what I mean? And you gonna get what you gonna get because she done dated a few people in the industry at the end of the day. So like you supposed to be happy for your homegirl that she getting them looks. You dig what I'm saying? So. You know, but as I feel like that night it came to a head, you know what I mean, and they clashed, and they could have just chalked it up to, you know, we just had a bad night. You feel what I'm saying? But the fact that I see like Megan continuously playing this victim role, I'm just like, I don't know, man.
They left the house and came back.
For real?
Oh, mama, they could have kept going, bro. They turned around and went back and seen bruh in the pool with the bride, bruh, a Kardashian. 100% a super level up over them two brides. Not to say they bad looking or nothing like that, because both of them women is beautiful and the Kardashian bride is beautiful too. But she's a fucking billionaire off her fucking makeup. 100%. Bruh's like, oh yeah. I'll see y'all later. 100%.
You know what I call that though? I call that whole treachery. You know what I'm saying? That nigga locked up behind whole treachery, bro. And it's just that the pub, like a lot of the public, they don't deal with situations like this. You know, some of them do. So some of them can relate. Like, nah, I could see how Shorty could have lined him up for that. You know what I'm saying? I could see how that shit could have tricked, even though he he's innocent, he could be in that situation. You feel what I'm saying? But the people that's just looking at it from the surface, they just running with what Megan say and whatever the case may be. You know,
see what happened was
Shorty would have got on that stand and testified. Oh, Shorty friend was going to jail. That's a fact. That's a whole fact. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man.
I still feel like, because they personally know each other like that, you know what I mean? Like, and then like I'm pretty sure like Tory, he's like, listen, I'm gangster, bitch. You know what I mean? Hold my gun. And then the moment they start getting into it because of him,
I don't think it was his gun. I think it was one of them.
Okay. Oh, she just
was in one of their bags. It was in one of their bags.
That's what I'm saying.
It was one of their guns.
Yeah.
You got to think, bro. Bro is an immigrant. Now, if it was his gun, it's an illegal gun on top of firing it off. It might have been more time.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Everything. Right. So if it's in the trial, it got to be in all the court process, and we could pull the paperwork up now on whose gun it was. 100%.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that's the thing. But I mean, it's unfortunate, But I just feel like, you gotta be mindful when you messing with certain type of chicks, man. You gotta know who you dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
I think Tory got with her. He got caught up in the moment. You know what I'm saying? They got together on some quick shit, but he didn't really get the time to really like observe Shorty and see really what type of chick this is.
Nah, what it is he's in the complete wrong, bro. You can't be fucking on Kelsey and then go ahead and fuck on Meg. Like, unless y'all doing it all together. You feel me? Everybody was behind everybody's back. And then when they all in there, it's all four of them all having a time in the pool and whatnot, you know what I mean? And all the alcohol, because you can see all the alcohol that they drinking in the video when they at the at the swimming pool with the bride. You know what I mean? It's like, look, the emotions got wild. Oh, you went behind my back, woo woo this and woo that. They both, they friends, but they and they got emotions because they messing on the same dude. You know what I mean? And here it is now. He trying to mess on somebody else. Like, come on now. That's what it really was. And
he's doing R&B rapper shit like he's supposed to be. Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
you know what I mean? Like, and then the bitch pulls out the gun. He's like, "Oh shit, she got a gun." You know what I mean?
Yo, like, you feel me? I just think, I feel like if he wanted to chill with, you see what he should have did. Okay, because I'm looking at you're already in this. I'm looking at it from the view he's already in the situation. You got Megan, you got her homegirl there, and then you got Kylie Jenner there, right? When Megan would have got to acting up, hey yo man, get her out of here, man. Get her out of here.
That is true.
Get her out of here.
He is Tory Lanez. He's Tory Lanez. Like, look, man, you gotta get him out of here. I got my girl.
So Kelsey said that the bride was too drunk. And she kept saying, "Look, your wig is messed up. You can't be walking around with your wig messed up." And so
they actually had to escort her out, right?
They ended up leaving. Look, and
she had an earring missing.
They was fucked up, bro.
She had an earring missing, so she came back like flashing about some like earring.
It was an earring or some shoe. I forgot exactly why they ended up coming back. Yeah, but they left because they was drunk, bro. It was the bodyguard and the two brides that left. They end up coming back, bro, 100%, and that's when shit got funky.
Yeah, I feel like, if I'm with Kylie Jenner and Megan start acting up, whatever, I'd have whispered in Kylie ear like, get security to get her out of here, bro. Like, get security to get her out of here, because she gonna ruin this whole night. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to deal with all that right now. You know
He was on that rap. He was on that rapper shit though. He was like, "Yo, you need." He probably did tell her, "You need to get them out of here." You know what I mean? He's like, get them both out of here, because then he was in the pool with Kylie. You feel me?
Yeah, I would. Like, and then I did, and then another thing too. I would have went to go, if you know you was gonna mess around with Kylie. I would have went to go see a Dolo. I want to bring them with me. With him,
nah, they was there first.
Oh,
they
word.
Was there
Oh,
first.
they never got there together.
Yeah, he pulls up.
Yeah, you know what? I would have came through, hung out a little bit, left, and then I would have doubled back after they gone. I wouldn't have did because I could see how those wires could touch. You know what I'm saying?
He's already tapping. If you're already, you ever drove to a place and then there's somebody there that you've already had prior dealings with, bro, I might shake the spot.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because I'm like, yo, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm about to be seen here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, no, I'm doing rapper shit. You feel me? Back in the days, at least.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have chilled for a little bit and I'd have slid out. I wouldn't have stayed around too long for something to go left because I know I'm hitting both of them. So yeah, I would have slid out. Chill for a little bit, and I'd have slid out, and then I probably would have doubled back on Kylie like later on. You feel me? Real talk. Yeah, but because I mean, you can't. Like the thing is, if you hit both of them, you gotta like keep your distance after that. Like you can't be up under them, hanging out every day. Like you know what I mean? Because they in competition with each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing.
And she's strapped too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think he knew.
I don't think he knew that.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't think he knew the how left that could go. Maybe he did.
Okay.
Sometimes you just get caught up in the moment. You feel me?
But I always assume he was on some "I'm holding my gun in my booze purse" type shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't know that she done popped out with the gun. You feel me? That's great. Yeah, and and going back to him and the unfortunate circumstance of him, getting poked up a bunch of times, bro. You know what I mean? Like I've and this is no knock on him, but I've seen interviews with people that have been around him with his bodyguards, I forget who it was. It might have even been Vlad. He said when he had him up there was somebody in the parking lot that wanted some have some words with Tory. The security goes out there, and before the security went out there, Tory was like, "Let me go out there with you. Let me hold the gun." And the security was like, "Fuck no." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Tory's crying wilding though, is what I'm saying too. So
you get blamed for that. If he give you that hammer and you go something go down and you end up using that, you get blamed for that.
International incident.
For real. So you definitely gotta be careful with that. You know what I mean?
Man, I hope he pulled through though, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
never really listened to that album in depth too. I wonder if he's saying things in that album that could have caused him to get stabbed behind the walls. You know what I mean? Like if he was saying maybe I hope he didn't throw in no prison shit in there. Like maybe threw some sublims about like some stuff he's dealing with behind the walls, and they might have heard it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, man, I guess we would just have to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Prison politics, man, it could be over anything, man.
Yeah, and I definitely can't ask my source over the 800 number. Tim is
yeah.
I definitely can't ask my source for sure.
That's just that's just life. When you in the Bing, man, it could go down. You could get into this fight something so trivial and it'll go left in a minute. So, that's just what it is, man. But at the end of the day, man, free Tory Lanez,
Facts.
Real talk.
Man, I hope he pulls through, man.
Yeah. Pardon me. I hope he makes a speedy recovery. Thank you. Hope he make a speedy recovery and whatnot. And just give it time, man. The truth gonna come out, man. That's just what it is, man. The truth gonna come out, bro. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so Next last topic, right? Let me play this one. Bobby Smurda announces his tour, is canceled after selling 10 tickets per city. Let me play this joint.
Coming up, I'm gonna be releasing soon. I want y'all to get ready for that. And I also want to apologize to all the blogs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I my sister when I was growing up. I don't know if I my brother. I don't know if I robbed somebody when I was growing up. But this week, and the next week, I'm gonna be posting a lot of things that we're gonna be doing, and I do want some support from the blogs. The point blank, yeah, they hating. But listen. I just want this to say, I'm gonna be dropping a lot of music, right? And the point that support what I'm doing, but they support all the going on, all the fake doing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
All right. So yeah, he fell out with his promoter because his promoter was saying that his tour that he was trying to do wasn't really selling like that, right? So what's your thoughts on it, man?
I ain't even heard no new music from Bob.
I got some quick thoughts on it, bro. I got some real quick thoughts, man. Like, from a music standpoint, when he got out, he didn't capitalize. I don't know, maybe there's something behind the scenes with his deal or whoever, his management, but like he should have got out, hit the ground running with some big features. He should have had something cooking, some kind of single for them to push, a soft single. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is why the tour didn't sell out, like, or even sell, period. You know what I mean? Like,
he took a different approach.
He doesn't have the music right now, and even if you go back to his history, it's really like he had a viral hit that had a dance to it, and then he got locked for some, and he lives in infamy now. You know what I mean? He didn't tell. Everyone loves him for that. He should have got out, hit the ground running, bro, musically.
Yeah, I think that when dudes, because I think he was caught up, he signed to a record deal before he got locked up, and I think the record deal that he signed to, he didn't agree with a lot of the terms.
They might have hemmed him up.
But this the thing, right? I think and this is just looking from my perspective. I could be wrong, right? But I feel like when you trapped in a bad record deal, yeah, of course you do what you got to do to get out of the deal, right? But you should not stop making music because and I understand some people be like, damn, they're going to get paid off of it. But if you haven't built your name up to where you can just ride that out, I feel like it's going to affect you in a negative way if you stop making music. When he came home, he didn't keep the momentum going. He wasn't dropping no new music. He took the same songs off the Shmoney album, and that's what he was performing, when he did shows. I don't think that he had enough in his catalog to do no tour. You ain't got no single that's popping. You ain't got no new music out like that. Like, how you think
you could be an opener on somebody's tour?
Yeah, you could do that. You gotta go.
Oh shit! I'll be right back. My bad.
Yeah, you gotta go back to you gotta go back to when you first came in the game. You feel what I'm saying? You can't just jump out there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do a tour." You got no new music, no new single that's buzzing, nothing. But then you get mad at the promoter because he's telling you, "Yo, listen, it's the problem wasn't the promotion. The problem is your stuff is not selling." You see what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna front, like, I mean, if Bobby comes to the city, yeah, I'll probably go check him out, but that's just me. You know what I mean? That's just because he's from the town. The people that really are checking for your music, if you ain't got no new music, they ain't coming out to see you to listen to music that you made. That was 2014 when he came out. You know what I'm saying? That's 11 years. So it's like,
Then you also see how when Rowdy came out. Rowdy started linking with Fabio and all that, trying to get back into the drill like type shit. Bobby wasn't doing that when he came home. He was on that, you know, that moving, that feel good, freaky, you know, with the hoochie daddy shorts and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? The type of
Wait for a second.
yeah, you know what I mean? The type of content that he was trying to put out, you know what I mean, was way different from what we first know him as, you know what I mean? And bruh, he like, man, I'm not trying to go back though. I took extra time because of my peoples so that we can all get up out this motherfucker. You feel me? So for him not to want to make what he made the songs and stuff that he made back then. See, like I said, I ain't heard no music from Bob in a while. You know what I mean? Like I said, when he came on, he you know, he was doing his thing and whatnot. You know what I mean? So you know, so if that's not selling and that's what you still putting out, then you really got to tap in with yourself to see what's going on 100%. If that's really what it was, you know what I mean? So
yeah, real talk. You know what I mean? I just feel like, what is wrong with going in the booth and trying to just lock in and make some magic, bro? Like, people get away from the thing that got them to that place, to that spot in the first place. Go in the booth and lock in, fam. Make some new music, make some new vibes, link up with some artists or whatever, you know what I mean, and collaborate. You see what I'm saying? But see, now you have to really be an artist. See, I think that when Bobby came out, people liked the energy. You know, the song was catchy. It went viral. I think the dance went viral on Vine. This went viral.
100%. Throw the hat up and
yeah. You feel me?
Let me tell you, facts.
But
that's one thing. My bad, big bro. One thing about him, the energy of never leaving. That's what got me on the bruh. Pause is the energy. You know, the song slap 100%, but the energy, because that's what I'm on. When I was a young bull, bro, the light stayed on 100%. And then when I threw one in the air and swallowed it, pause, hold, you know what I mean? The double pause, you know what I mean? It took it to 1,000. So I know what the energy's about, bro. I'm heavy energy, 100%. You know what I mean? What do Bobby bring to the table for sure?
Yeah, I just think that, all right, he went viral, right? He went viral, and you know, they put out their first mixtape, you know, it did good or whatever the case may be, right? But see, once you did the bid and came home, right? Now everybody's looking, okay, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Now you actually have to be an artist. Now you have to go in the booth and actually make music. And if you can't do that, you're not gonna last in the game.
Well, see, what it is like, to me, in my opinion, I think he just didn't want to capitalize off the bullshit that he went through, because he chose the route of when he got home to be the hoochie daddy like type shit. You know what I mean? It was upbeat, real feel good party like type shit. You feel me?
Your fans don't know you for that. Your fans
and that's my thing. You see how Rowdy went and got back with the GS. I mean, well, I don't know if Fabio is GS9. I forgot exactly.
Nah, he's not, but he stayed tapped in though.
100%. And so that's the route that Rowdy took. Rowdy, when he first came home, I got a lot of that shit saved on my playlist on YouTube. Rowdy tapped straight back in with Fabio and everything that was going on. 100%. That's the music that he chose to make.
See, that's the thing. Like, it's like, you could make something catchy, and that shit can go out. That shit can go through the moon. You feel me? But after all of that happens, right? You have to actually continue to make music. And I think when you get further and further and further away from locking in and making music, because you got to be in that lab in order to make magic. You're not just going to go in the booth and the first rhyme you spit, the first song you make is just going to hit. No, you got to stay in there for a while.
You want to know what's fucked up? That's one of his first songs, and it actually did take off. And it's like, you know, like Fetty Wap, one of his first songs was Trap Queen. You know what I mean? And like it,
that wasn't
like
you had the Smutty album out before that song went on.
Oh, word? Okay. I must have read that wrong. Scratch what I said. Have that stricken from the record.
Yeah, that they had the Smutty album was out already when hot, you know, the
Hot
the
boy
the hot boy
or
single.
hot N-word.
Yeah, you know what I mean. The That's Money album was out already, but like I said, you have to go on the booth and make real music. You can't come in here just treating it strictly like a hustle and not putting out no good product. You got to put out good product, because if you don't put out good product, you're not going to last in this game. So I think, you know, Bobby got to recalibrate, man. You got to get the people music, bro. You got to get the people music. I don't want to hear about your label disputes and all of that, because I stay, you know, every time, you know, he's always posting the label disputes and
Yeah, that's the rap game.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about all that. Just where the music at? Give me, you know what I'm saying? Give me something to listen to, man. You know, so that's
Give me
where I'm at.
something I can dance to.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Come on, Bobby. Give me some of that dance. Feel good.
He be moving though. Bobby he got gigs though, you know what I mean? So you know the upbeat, the high energy, that shit is there, bro. He got a lane, but he just gotta stay in the thing cooking, you know what I mean? Because he's not trying to promote the drill shit. He see how the shit is going.
So now you actually have to be an artist.
100%. And I ain't mad at that, you know, and you can't, and he can't be mad at nobody but himself if it's not shaking, you know what I mean? So you got to, like you said, you got to get in that lab and stay cooking, bruh. Take your toothbrush and your pillow, bruh, and get it in.
You know what's crazy about the drill rappers that could actually rap, like the King Vons of the world, rest in peace, and like, you know, they're you know, the list goes on. There's actual drill rappers that can really rap. They don't last long. You know
Young Pappy was one of them.
There you go.
Talented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would have got signed because he was talented.
That's what I'm saying, brother.
You know, but that's the thing. Like, you know, that's the thing when, you know, if 10 drill rappers come out, you might have like 1 or 2 that really know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But anything going out on this one, bro?
Man, stay working, Bob. You know, you got a core fan base, 100%, man. Stay working, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, and like I would say, you know, if that's a lane that you're trying to go into, start doing some major collabs with people in that lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start getting your name outside of, because now if you're not going to feed the cult following with the content that they know you for, you need to start furthering your fan base by getting introduced to other fan bases by collaborating with other artists that's big in that lane that he's trying to.
I want to say the nigga Quavo. I want to say the boy Quavo came and got him when he got out. Quavo had the private jet for him and all that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I said, I really ain't been tapped in with
You know that's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah.
You know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, they want to stand next. They want to stand next to him real quick to be like, yeah, I rock with gangsters.
But my thing is, now you have to actually once the one hit wonder stuff wears off, now you actually have to be an artist. You have to go on the booth. You got to make magic. You feel what I'm saying? Real talk. That's just what it comes down to. You're not making no magic. You have no product to sell. People are not booking your shows to watch you jump around on stage and not say nothing or perform songs from 15 years ago. You're not an artist that is put in 20, 30 years in the game to where we don't mind listening to some old songs from you. You know what I'm saying? You really have one album. You feel me? So
how long did he sit down for?
Like 8,
7. You know who sit down for 7? And then I think he did 5 out of 7. But Mac Dre, bro, Mac Dre had like the 1 or 2 out. He had the album when he was in jail too. But when he got out, he hit the ground running because he was like, bro, you know, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like that's all. You know, that it should. If you're an artist, it should spark some. I mean, maybe I can't speak to it, even though I'm an artist. I haven't done any significant time by the grace of God. But you know what I'm saying? Because I would imagine, you know, some people might be like, they automatically assume, oh, you could write when you're in there. And maybe people can't get in the right mindset because they're locked in there, you know what I mean? And the shit that they have to deal with behind the walls. So like, because I would imagine, man, he had a long time he has a lot to talk about. Like where, you know what I mean? Maybe speak your truths for real. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You have to dig deep. You have to dig deep. You're gonna go in there. You got to give them that pain. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that pain. And I want to hear that pain as a fan of the whole Shmoney joint when he first came out. I want to hear that pain in his music. You know what I'm saying? You got to get back to that, man.
But see, that's the thing that shows you that even though bruh had to go sit down, it was life opening. You know, sometimes either when you get shot, you turn into an animal or you get humble. Sometimes when you go to the penitentiary, it turns you into animal or you get humbled by it 100%. So for the content that bruh chose, the route that he chose to go to, when he got out, it shows like, bruh, I'm not finna even promote that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna speak on it. You know what I mean? It's
not to the point where you're not making no music no more, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
It only been so
Like, if
far.
you, know,
Bro. You can still get in that booth and make music, bro. Let's not
for sure.
like,
100%.
making music now. Like we can't ride that too long. Like, you know what I'm saying?
When you get to saying something about a week, my bro caught a body about a week ago, and it just dropped, bah, bah, bah,
Yeah.
like
they use
that song in court to lock the whole GS. You know what I mean? Like
they've been in the shit, man. Like that.
what I'm saying, but they used that song to get them locked up though. 100%. So, Fred, like, I don't want to talk about nothing that says anything pertaining towards them.
You let the spooky out of making.
I mean, maybe there's a part of his parole. Maybe it's a part of his parole.
Man, hell no. His whole thing, like, I think he couldn't associate with the members and all that. But my thing is, like, you could still get in the booth and make music, bro.
Yeah. And I would think, I'm assuming again, but man, he should have a lot to say, and he's been out for a good minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you can't ride with them excuses no more, bro. Where the music at, man? Like,
yeah, real.
Yeah, I don't think that's an excuse. I don't think that's an excuse. I think that's a choice.
What?
To not talk about what he wants, what we talking about, or I think that's a choice that he doesn't want to even bring that up.
All right, but that shit ain't selling, bro. That other shit ain't selling, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit is bad.
Remember Dr. Dre? He came out with "Been There, Done That," and they're like, "What the fuck? We want to hear some other shit." He was like, all right.
I see why it wasn't widely received.
I like that album. It had some dope production on it, but yeah, it was him trying to do some artistry versus like, okay, I'm gonna keep talking about this life that I'm not currently living, so to speak. You know?
Yo, Bobby could go in that booth. One fire song right now would change that whole shit like that. If he drop a few fire songs right now for the summer, that's like something that you really put your joint into. It don't gotta, like, the music be like the rap that be popping now these days. Like, some of that shit be emo. You know, like they talk about the females and they sing and they rap. You know what I mean? So it don't gotta be about no gangster shit. Just make music, bro. You feel me? Just make music. So, you can't keep riding that excuse about, I don't want to. So you're not gonna make that type of music. We'll make music that people can vibe to, man. You feel me? Because I'm a fan of Bobby, man.
He's over 30 now?
What happened?
He's over 30 now. He might be like over 30 now, huh? Because I know when he got out, he was definitely still in his 20s, right?
Yeah. So yeah, he probably close to 30, if not 30 already. But he'll be all right, man. I don't want to see them fade out, man. They had a good rollout, man. You feel me? But anything going on with this one?
And they represent your hometown, so I know you want to see them do good for sure.
For sure, man. Yeah. So let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, represent the town. You know what I mean? Shit, man, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere you consume your music, Bogart, scot-free, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, things of that nature, and Gen Wealth Net on YouTube, and on Instagram, Gen Wealth Net _ all one word.
Yeah. JD, where they can find you at?
Heart to Start podcast, man. All you got to do is type in HEART, the number 2 start, man, podcast, man. Come on now. That's where you're going to find me at, man.
Yes, sir, man. We're going to be out of this shit, man. We're going to be in here next week. Peace.
Peace.